there's a game, a football game called Spot the Ball, where mirror readers were invited to spot the ball. I imagine that's the goal, and imagine there are three players all looking as the forward heads the ball into the back of the net. So where's the ball? And you've got all three players, the goalie, the guy heading the ball, and the defender there, and they're all looking, and so the ball would be there, yeah? On Spot the Ball, it was down here, because you didn't want, the prize was £1 million, but if you put the ball there, following the logic, it would be down there. And this was so bent, and he didn't want anyone to win, because at the end, he was running out of money. Now, that's the simplest way of understanding what's going on, but he was also, at the very end, he was stealing money from the banks, and he was robbing Peter to pay Paul. Who cares? Well, you should have a bank run one of these days. I'm using my words advisedly, I'm not rhyming. Anyway, but this is the big crime in my book, in everybody's book. He was stealing money from the Mirror pension funds, 400 million quid, which meant that people who'd worked their entire life for the paper had suddenly found themselves getting half of what they were expecting to when they're 70 and 80. This was a nasty thing to do. As well as that, he became more and more difficult and crazy as he got older and older. Now, there's Roy Greenslade tells this story which we didn't have time for, but there's one point where they're taking the helicopter back from the Labour Party conference. He's in it with Betty, Robert Maxwell's wife, the pilot, and Robert Maxwell gets annoyed with the pilot for driving the helicopter, so at one point he takes over the thing you drive it with. What's it called? I've forgotten.
Joystick.
Yeah, the joystick. And the pilot, what's going on? And Betty loses it. What are you doing, you stupid man? And that's how arrogant, stupid he was. He had a helipad in the heart of London. He would urinate off the top of it. He would off the top of it onto the ants below, because who cares about them? He would use cloth towels to wipe his bottom, and then leave them around for his poor Filipino maids to pick up.
Wipe his bottom with cloth towels.
And leave them. So that now there's somebody who's losing it. Then how he treats his family. So there are various versions of this which we go into in the podcast. Some there's good evidence for, some of it is more difficult. But Betty Maxwell, his widow, wrote a book before she died, and she describes, it's obvious that she loves this guy. She has 9 children with him. She's rebuilding the family he lost in the Holocaust. And she loves him. And she says, at one point she writes to him saying that the way you treat your family, I regret recreating your murdered family for you. It's incredibly tough for a woman who loves him. She said, you behave dictatorially, you're harsh, you're brutal, you behave, you take sadistic pleasure in crushing the people around you, the family. He beat his own kids. Now that was kind of common back in the day, and remember he was born in 1923, so that's not uncommon, but he beat his children. Now this story, we don't know whether it's true because there are only